Yo, what is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast. And y'all know it's that time of year. Fantasy football is in full effect. My fantasy league, the best fantasy league in the planet, the Midtown Brigade, completes its week one. And just like last season, I'm going to give you my week after week recap, matchup recap. Been playing with these boys for a long time. And they're a bunch of dogs, man. $1,200 is a stake. Bragging rights is a stake, which is probably more than the money for us in this league. And week after week, man, I'm gonna give you the matchups. Um, we got my boy Team Cruz is in the building right now. What up, Team Cruz? Welcome, my man. And of course, week after week, great week one was out of control. Absolutely out of control right here, boys and girls. And let's start off with, of course, my matchup. Garbage Man is back, which this week I was Tito's over Goose against the one of my rivals, actually, one of the guys that I've been playing with the most, and we have a really good rivalry going back and forth. Grey Goose, and the week could not start any worse for Mister Grey Goose over here as Cooper Cup lands in the IR, and I'm like, all right, man. Goose is projected to beat me by like 5 points, the highest points forecasted in the league, but then everything went to shit for the poor guy. As you can see, Patrick Mahomey score below average at 25 points per game. Montgomery, and everything was pretty much downhill after that. It was a significant win. And on my book, look, Aaron freaking Jones, baby, who's questionable this week, gave me the best game I'm probably going to give him all year long at 26.7 points per game. My boy, Trevor Lawrence, did a good game, 25 points. He was a little bit, almost 25 points, a little bit under projection. But look, Jamal Williams, disappointing, 7 points, but everything else, look, the Falcons defense came big for me. Tyler Bass, kicked the shit out of the ball. But at that point, the game was over by Sunday night. I did not need Tyler Bass points whatsoever. I was up like 120 to 97. He had no more players. Disappointing performance by Goose, who obviously was not loose. And any big shockers on the bench? No. I'm shocked I didn't start James Cook over Isaiah Pacheco. I know the matchup seemed a little juicier, but James Cook is definitely a much better running back than Isaiah Pacheco, and it wouldn't matter anyway. Jalen Waddle, was lost in the shadows for him. I know this is a guy that's going to break out, and luckily for me, he didn't break out shit this week. So, hey, better him than me. Your boys want to know. Goose is 0-1. Okay. Here we go. Moving on. What is the next matchup here? Let's take a look at next matchup is Vicious against Team Broadway. Let's take a look at Vicious and Team Broadway. Team Broadway was the highest point scorer of the week. My man just brought the beat down to Vicious. It was like he beat him like he stole something. It was not even cool, man. It was really, really bad. My man got struck down like a baby trying to steal candy from I don't know. But anyway, story of the game was Deshaun Watson had himself a game, 24. He had three guys to score over 20 points. And of course, the true story of the game was that Dallas defense, 38 points against the horrific Giants. I don't think in all the years of fantasy football I ever seen a defense outscore a the best players in the team, let alone like be the highest scoring by like 14 points. The difference from the next player up is Jefferson, who, by the way, 25 points, didn't score a touchdown, but he had 25 points. I mean, right now, man, Team Broadway, and out of the first week, is the team to beat. All right. I mean, look at this lineup, man. Deshaun got busy. Travis Etienne got busy. Alexander Madison, I mean, he did all right, but the Dallas Cowboys and Justin Jefferson got super busy. And the good news is that the Dallas Cowboys ain't going to play the Giants every week, so you don't expect them to score 38 points, but close to it. Look, Team Vicious has a good team, but man, whew, his Lamar let him down. 8.25 points game. I know he let a lot of people down. It would have been a different story if Lamar would have had a kind of like close to his projection numbers here. Great game by Michael Pittman. But Drake London, the goose egg. I mean, Drake London was out there he looked like he went to London on that day and decided not to freaking play. Damian Pierce, disappointing. Again, 6.7. There was a lot of guys that disappointed at Vicious today. But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Welcome to fantasy football. Fantasy football always disappoints and breaks heart. And Vicious had himself some really, really disappointing and some discouraging moments here today. But Team Broadway, highest points scorer of the day. My man is out there, doing his bachata right now in San Antonio. I mean, the Dominican far from San Antonio. In San Antonio, that says a lot, man. He's far away from home, but he's not far away from doing what he does best, which is win, win, win. Till next week, Vicious. Really, 109 points, man. It was tough. It was tough. Big Dog Moon and Maximus. Oh, brother. This win right here came down to freaking Monday night. Maximus was up right to the last minute, licking his chops, ready to declare himself the victor. He was ready to okay, man, I'm going on week 2, want to know, because it was a matter of seconds. All right, before the damn Jets score on that special teams touchdown and gave my man Big Dog Moon, aka waiver wire studs, aka I don't use the waiver wire at all, the victory.
Loser. Le who? The her.
That's a tough way to lose, man. The Jets, 28 points. I think that was the story of the game. 106-97. Maybe it was a little less than that, but hey, it is what it is. The Jets are the one who gave him the win. He was winning this matchup, and 28 points by the Jets. Listen, it was not going to be even close. Disappointing showing by Field. He invested a lot of money when he came to draft capital. I'm talking about Maximus right now. My man mortgaged his future on the Chicago Bears. I don't know if that was the right move. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, and Khalil Herbert, which, by the way, Khalil Herbert is a pretty good player. But DJ Moore disappointed. Sky Moore, man. That offense and Sky Moore, I think he dropped the ball there. He had I would have gone Khalil Herbert, man, on the flex probably and move Mr. AJ Brown there, man. I mean, hey, lesson learned. I mean, that team disappeared anyway. It was a shit show anyway. In regards to Big Dog Moon, I mean, he won this one by the damn skin of his underwears, all right? Because it was ugly. Jalen did not show up. I mean, he had nothing here. Look at this. 28 points was his defense. His defense, I mean, this is like the game ball of the day goes to the defense. Looking in the bench, not much else. These are pretty two ugly teams. It was like the ugliest game. This is like watching paint dry, watching these two guys play this week. But it is what it is, man. A win is a win. It doesn't matter if it's pretty or ugly. Yo, you got to take it. And right now, Big Dog Moon is 1-0. Maximus, who I'm facing this week, it's about to go 0-2. Who do we have next? There we go. The Mad Beast and New Era. Closed. I mean, it wasn't closed at all. New Era, man. His team showed up. His freaking team showed up. Mad Beast starts the year again. I think this is the third consecutive year where my man starts 0-1. Even though he has finished as a second place team twice already. All right, he's already finished the second place team twice already in the league. Right, he's been the second place the back-to-back years, which that's pretty impressive. He's like Joey Burrows, man. He can win the first game of the season, but he does get to that second spot. That's the Mad Beast right there. All right, moving back on here. Let's get back. Let's not digress and get back here to the mashup. Look, 103, 2 points. It was 103. He just had a horrible showing for Josh Allen, who favorite receivers of the day was Whitehead from the New York Jets, who he hit 3 times. Austin Eckler, big game. That's it. Austin Eckler was the news. That's it. All right, 27.4 points. He's actually questionable this week. He threw in Deion Jackson in there trying to get that magic, the Jonathan Taylor magic that has left him behind. Kyle Pitts, keeps disappointing. Mike Williams, we know the Mike is washed up already. The Vikings defense is disappointing. On the other hand, who didn't freaking disappoint was New Era's team. Even with Geno taking a big dump in the bed, he did not need that. Tony Pollard, 22 points. He didn't need Tony Pollard to even play on Monday night because he still would have won this matchup. All right, he could have set Tony Pollard down, and he still would have beaten our guy by like double digits. All right, the Mad Beast. Anyway, Ramondre Stevenson, large game. Stephon Diggs, huge game. Brandon Ayuk, I mean, he is loaded. Right now, wide receiver wise, this man is loaded. Huge game. Look, he scored so many points that he got himself a goose egg from Dallas Goedert, the tight end, and under 2 points from another receiver. This dude had two positions that scored a total of 2 points combined and still won by like a shitload of points. Yeah, that's impressive. That's about, I don't know if it's he's that team is that damn good, or the Mad Beast just did not go to his Santero this weekend and pay him up, man, because he didn't do his job.
Oh, balls.
Wow, I mean, impressive win by Team New Era. Almost etched out as Pop's Team Broadway for the actual greatest for the actual highest points. It was number 2. It was the second highest scoring, I think. Well, no, actually, yeah, Rico, who we're gonna hit, was the second scoring by less than a point. Next, South Florida Ninja and Galamada on Wednesday. This one was another come from behind win. Let me tell you something, man. I mean, Joe Burrow looked like he did not have any Galamada on Wednesday, but more like freaking bad Chinese food on Saturday night. Because, man, he was nowhere to be found. He was right next to Danny Dimes when it comes to the all-time greatest performance. All right? He was the all-time greatest performance. He went down to like one of the shittiest performances. I'm sorry, not great, but he's down there with like some of the crappiest performance next to Danny Dimes. After Daniel Jones, Joe Burrow had the worst freaking game of the opening season. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Hey, Team Cruz in the building. Got to check my bank account to see if the transfers went through. Well, listen, I know, man. The league sometimes has an issue with funds. All right, so that's why you got to take them on real quick. Anyway, I know. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, you're checking. He's checking his Venmo to see if the funds went through the Santero, so he could do a better job in forecasting some of his issues next week. Anyway, going back to the matchup, and I like to highlight these, go back and forth and hit these comments. Going back to the matchup, it was again Joe Burrow was the reason why he lost this game. 4 points from Joey B, fully paid quarterback, and he sucked major ass. Rashad White disappointing because that game was kind of ugly anyway. CeeDee Lamb did not, again, it's going to happen a lot this year. Dak did not throw the ball a lot, and he wasn't effective, so 11 points. Now, let's look at the highlights. Calvin Ridley is going to be doing this all year freaking long. That's what he does, man. 25 points by Calvin Ridley. He had such a great game, scored a touchdown, had a bunch of receptions, and went over 100 receiving yards. Shout out to Calvin Ridley, who I'm happy the dude is back after a bullshit suspension for a year. Justin Herbert, 25 points, highlight of the team here. Nice to see Amon St. Brown. He started, look, his receivers, Amon St. Brown and Chris Olave, played wonderfully. Tyler Lockett, again, it was a bad, disappointing game by Geno Smith, so Lockett was nowhere to be found. Neither was Isaiah Likely. On the bench, he really didn't have anything shocking except for Kenny Pickett, but, he has Justin Herbert. You don't need Kenny Pickett, not even in the freaking bench, all right? Either way, another small, lucky-ass win. However, South Florida Spanish Ninja, who started the week with some bad luck himself, and Travis Kelce not playing his number 1 pick, but still was able to be resilient enough to muster himself a win. It's pretty impressive. Again, there was no Galamad on Wednesday for Frank the Tank, baby. It was more like bad Chinese food. Last but not least, the defending champ, Team Bring It, goes again. New York City Rico. 138 to 92. No contest. Champ, who I gave him the trophy, presented him the champ. He's actually the all-time greatest, win most championships won in this league. Team Bring It, who has like 5. I got 2. Went down bad, man, to Team Rico. And again, look, Aaron Rodgers, that was out for the season. That was the starting quarterback for snaps. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Saquon Barkley, part of that shit show Giants against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this guy, Bring It, had some bad luck, man. He had worse matchups. He really had Aaron Rodgers going out should be an omen. Look, Garrett still got himself a touchdown in there, but it was bad. Mike Evans, did pretty good. On the bench, it's not like he has a lot left. In comes in Russell Wilson at the starter moving forward. But Aaron Rodgers going down really, it was, we don't know what the score was going to be, but that's just a bad sign. On the other hand, man, Rico was putting up points like he was at a strip club throwing dollar bills all up in the air, bro. I mean, my man was making it rain points wise. Second highest scoring team of the day, of the week. And he just went off pretty much, man. 138 points, a little bit higher than New Era. Tua Tagovailoa had the Tua performance, that shootout where he dropped 450 something yards. That was pretty much it. And of course, the stack of Tyreek Hill. We all know this stack right here. That was like, again, 138 points total score. This is about 85 points right here. So 60% of his points came from two players, which is going to tell you you're going to have some really good performances on some weeks. And when all your eggs are in one basket, the way offensively this team is, which you got to have a good stack. But ain't a lot after that. It's going to be some ugly weeks as well. But this week, it is beautiful. This week, he doesn't need to do anything else but to just sit back, relax, move on to next week before my man just destroyed the defending champ. Which, when you just like the Detroit Tigers, you celebrate when you beat the defending champs. It is what it is, right? You gotta take some wins. You really got to take some wins. It was just a really, really bad game overall for Team Brigade. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is out, and it's time to find a replacement.
Damn!
All right, that was the recap. Let's take a look at the standings before we head out here, boys and girls. And first place in the Uptown division. I like to call this the cupcake division because ain't really a lot of all the competition is in the downtown. But again, overall, Team Broadway is the number one team ranked based on the calculations from ESPN. Because 140 points, I get to do a combination of how many points score, how many overall were they allowed. So he is right now ranked number one. I am number two, leading my division. He's in first place of our division, but pretty much we got freaking 6 teams right now, 1-0, and we got other 6 teams are 0-1. What does it mean, everybody? This doesn't mean shit. Okay, so these little numbers where you have playoffs for 63%, 69%, I mean, jack, bro. Let's talk in week 5 before we start taking this in any way possible. Something that means anything. At this moment, it doesn't mean nothing. It means nothing. It's just like kissing your sister. So, all right, that was the recap from the fantasy for the Midtown Brigade Fantasy Football League, boys and girls. I mean, the best fantasy league in the world. Appreciate my boys, Alex, and from Team Placencia, from Matt Beast, Beat Moondog, to jump on the comments. All right, and helping us out today. Appreciate you guys. And until next week, where we are going to head over to week 2, there's some good matchups. And I think we're going to have some more excitement week after week. So, in the words of my guy.
Oh, hell no!
2 hours later.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast and the Midtown Brigade Fantasy Football League signing out. Peace.